This is Noel Tate from Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast. And you're listening to Know Her is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast.
Hi, Jessica.
Who the hell are you?
The woman who's going to save your life.
Welcome back, Spider Babies, to Know Her is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast. We're your hosts, Seren and Rey. And in today's episode, we will be discussing Marvel 2-in-1 issues 29 and 30.
Hey, how you going, Seren? It's a little bit of a bout of deja vu. I don't know about you, but...
Yeah, I know. I feel like we might have talked about this before. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, like
It's been a crazy month. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Spider
Black
Babies.
Void came to eat the episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the black void, the black hole. Listeners, Spider Babies, you probably know there was a little bit of a what do you call it? An error on my half. We lost our much now legendary episode 29. So Sarah and I are here to do a redux, a redo, and who knows, Sarah, it might yield a lot more other things that we previously didn't chat about. So that's good.
That is.
Yeah, so we do have a whole heap of news. Again, look, I'm not afraid to share it, Sarah. You and I, we were meant to record a little bit earlier. I had a little bout of sickness, i.e. Self-inflicted through a little bit of the drink. Apologies there, Sarah.
Just say it that you were hungover, dude. It's okay. We've both been there.
I was hungover. I had not planned it. And, it's like, we had... Sarah and I were planning on recording potentially a double episode that morning for me. And so anyway, having a bit too much of a good time, and
you're allowed to have a good time.
Yeah, just like us. And I just texted you, Sarah, and I don't think I can do this. So
Yo, that's okay. I wound up going out to dinner with my sister, so it was a good night.
Yeah. No, excellent. And we get to do this issues 29 and 30 again, as you say. But before that, we do have some news, Sarah.
A lot more news than we had.
Oh, for sure. I've kept what we had in the news in our original recording. You can probably see that in the prompt sheet struck out.
I do.
And remember, we talked about, I want to jump to this one first. We talked about Emma Roberts.
We did.
There was speculation, like there was a photo of her looking pregnant. She had the blonde hair still, and we were going, oh, this could really be Jessica Drew.
Right.
But
we were very wrong.
We were very wrong. Since then, over the last month, the Madam Web cast has been confirmed. So, Saren, we've got a fair few. I like these. I added these little pictures in the prompt sheet.
I see that. Cool. That's good because that helps me a lot.
Yeah. So, some of it was, what we were speculating. Dakota Johnson is Cassandra Webb.
Yes.
That was, I think, pretty much a give.
Yes.
A given. Sydney Sweeney, Julia Carpenter. This surprised me. I don't know about you.
I mean, I'm not familiar with Sydney Sweeney at all. Actually, I'll be perfectly frank with you. I'm looking at this cast list, and the only one I'm really familiar with are Emma Roberts and Adam Scott. Like, I have no idea who the fuck anyone else is.
You are not wrong there. Dakota Johnson.
Well, yeah, she's familiar to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I know her name, but
yes.
Yeah, I'm really bad, guys.
Oh, look, me too. Taking nothing away from these fine actors as well. I know Sydney Sweeney, she featured in a pretty good TV show, like acclaimed. It just eludes me as to what it was. But this is terrible. But anyway, she's Julia Carpenter. Just on face value, Saren, I had assumed she would have, there was talk about her being potentially Gwen Stacy. So Julia Carpenter's pretty...
I thought she was a little old to be Gwen Stacy, truth be told.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, that's... and speaking of a younger cast, Celeste O'Connor as Maddie Franklin.
I feel very bad for her if they follow the comic storyline, that's all I gotta say. Girl, I'm so sorry for you. But anyway,
Yeah. Any hopes for longevity in the Spider-Verse? Well, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen, right?
right.
So Isabella, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give this a go. Isabella Merced, I guess,
Yeah,
is Anya Corazon. So
I'm excited about that. I love
that's
Anya.
cool.
That's
Yes, that would be very cool. So I'm very excited about. I mean, most of this casting, I'm pretty happy with, except for potentially Adam Scott, Ben Parker, pretty cool as well. Like I like him. Parks and Recreation. I haven't seen Severance. Have you seen Severance or?
No, I don't watch TV
No.
really. It's
Oh.
Critical Soul that has gripped my. That's the only thing I watch
yeah.
at all. As
yes,
we were
we shall
discussing
try.
before.
Yeah, and I'd like to, ask you a bit more about that. And finally, Emma Roberts. Now, this kind of, my shoulders slumped a little at this. Saren, I don't know about you. What do you think?
No,
She's been
they
cast
didn't.
as Mary. No? Okay.
No, because the people writing this movie wrote, I think, the Morbius movie. So the fact that they are not touching Jessica Drew pleases me greatly. I'm so glad Jessica's not in this movie.
Oh, okay, because you don't want to. So, oh no, I'm kind of I'm I guess innocently looking forward to this. It could be a train wreck, which I hope it isn't because
I hope
don't know.
not either, but I have little faith in the people who are writing it if Morbius tanked that badly.
Yeah, and also with that kind of mindset, I guess you could argue the fact that they're saving Jessica Drew for something else, like the fact that she's not part of this movie means that it could still very much be the Olivia Wilde film.
Yes.
So there's that, because I know our good friend Carlos was very disheartened when this was announced, and
Carlos, don't be disheartened. It might be
Yes.
a blessing in disguise. We love you.
Exactly.
I know we want Jess, and we're all chomping at the bit for Jess. At least the comic side of Marvel is very aware of how passionate of a fan base we are, even if we are not that large. They are. I think because I guess if you want to, now that we've kind of touched on the cast, we should talk about Olivia Wilde again. And let's talk about that for a minute, because that recent quote that you have here in the notes does make it sound like her movie is with the MCU and not with Sony, whereas the Spider-Woman movie, this Madam Web movie, clearly is in Sony's fan base.
Yes.
So, or not fan base, but under Sony's purview, like Venom is.
Well, they said, didn't they? I mean, it has been established this will be in the same world as Kraven the Hunter and Venom and Morbius, right? So they're very much in that camp. But yeah, you're right. Olivia Wilde alludes to it being connected, similar to how Spider-Man has kind of jumped over to the MCU.
Right. Do you want to read that quote, or do you want me to?
Oh yeah, I do want to give that a read.
Yeah. So Olivia Wilde, she said, "I will say that I think the Marvel approach of allowing new filmmakers to come into the fold and have access to those tools of the Marvel universe is incredibly exciting. I'm a big fan of what they're doing over there, but yeah, I can't confirm whether that is what that is." Meaning she can't confirm if it's Spider-Woman or not. But it does sound like the movie she is working on is within the MCU.
Yeah. Which
So
it could be.
It could be Jess. So this is also kind of where I think things are getting interesting. Actually, there's been a whole lot of drama about Olivia Wilde's "Don't Worry, Darling."
Yes, I was just reading that this morning, actually.
Right, but actually, within regards to the film itself, the feedback has been that Olivia's directing is excellent. Like, it's really good, but the script itself is kind of crappy. So she did what she could with a crappy script. But the person who wrote it also wrote Booksmart, which was an excellent movie.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what is going on here, but the consensus seems to be 2 out of 2 for now, that Olivia's a very good director. So that we've got, and Marvel would not hire her if they didn't think she was good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But this also brings me to D23 was this weekend.
That's right. Yes.
And we had clips from Secret Invasion and I think Werewolf by Night. I did not see the Werewolf by Night trailer.
Okay, I'm salivating over that one, but yeah. Okay. It's very good, Seren. It's in the mold of like Universal horror, so it's done really like old school black and white, and it just looks like it's harking back to those movies.
So someone said they think someone in the trailer could be Jessica. Oh,
in Werewolf by Night?
I
didn't
I know they're buddies, but
yeah, that would be cool. And maybe. I'd hope kind of not. If it's just a throwaway Jessica, then I hope not. Unless you know. But yeah, I didn't see that. Unfortunately, I didn't have my Jess radar on for that.
No, I had my Jess radar on for the Secret Invasion trailer, which also looks really good. And I am so behind on my Marvel movies, guys. I got to take like a week off and just binge the shit out of everything. But Emilia Clarke is in it. And looking at her in the trailer, I really got kind of Jess vibes, but she's probably Abigail Brand. But if she was Jess, I would scream.
It could be. I think that there's a big chance it could be Jess. And like, I mean, you're right, it could be Abigail as well. You know, this is just me thinking, but there was a lot there to kind of speculate on. I know one of the other Spider Babies put that on as well. Is it Emilia Clarke playing Veronke, playing Jess? You know, so absolutely. I mean, this is exciting. Secret Invasion as a whole looks really good.
And I feel like you can't have Secret Invasion without Jessica Drew.
I can, although I want to temper your expectations there, Sarah,
I know.
because you know what MCU can do, and they can massively disappoint. Yeah,
and honestly, I'm going to interrupt you, but the person who is in the perfect position to be Veronke is Sharon Carter right now in the MCU with her role.
Yes.
So so it's more likely that Emilia Clarke is probably Abigail Brand.
Mm-hmm. I like your smart way of thinking. That, I mean, for sure, absolutely.
And then we're gonna have Sharon Carter as Veronke, because she is in that position that Jess was kind of in the comics, where she had a foot in everything, and that's where Sharon is right now.
So, from a glass half empty point of view, that would definitely, I think, be the case. And it is a very intelligent, logical way to see it. But on the glass half full, we could still potentially be Jess. Yeah. You never know. But we'll just have to see. Emilia Clarke's a big enough name, obviously, to carry a stature of Spider-Woman. Because Abigail, I mean, for all intents, you know, it's a good enough character, but she's no...
Jess.
She's no legacy character. Yeah, exactly.
And Jess isn't a legacy character. I mean, Jess is a legacy character, sort of, but she's really not, because she really has nothing to do with Peter.
Yes.
Until Marvel decided to shove her in that way, which is interesting. Also, I haven't checked out the new Avenger comic. I need to do that.
I've got that on my pile. All action Avengers. That's right. Yeah, we can't do a little, because both Seren and I have not read it yet. I'm sure Spider Babies have, but that is on the other news. It should be on the news as well, Seren. That got released last week.
Yeah, so. I have not been to my comic shop yet, so I will have to definitely stop by this week and check that out.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of comics as well, actually, sorry, before we get into that, just one final thing on Madam Web. So they've released the... No, it's all right. No, they've released the date October 6th next year. So we've got, about a year to go. It was originally slated for July, but Sony pushed it back. And the article that I got this information from later went on to say that July next year, I think Mission Impossible 7 and Indiana Jones 5 or something is coming out. So they don't want to compete.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Those. Yeah, so that's why they pushed it, which is fair enough. Why not?
Yeah.
More time to refine the special effects and post-production, as I'll say. But Seren, going back to the comics, we've got a new Spider-Woman, kind of. What are your thoughts on this?
I didn't even know about it. This is how far Critical Role has dragged me under, because I'm so obsessed with it. I have failed it. She does have web wings. Well, so does 2099, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure... I'm not sure.
It's always fun because it's 2099, right? It's a new generation of character. So like Miguel O'Hara, totally different from Peter Parker. I don't know, just something exciting. So Spider-Woman, we're alluding to Spider-Baby. Spider-Woman 2099 is going to premiere or debut in Spider-Man 2099 Exodus Omega 1. So Exodus is an event that will span across Spider-Man 2099, X-Men 2099, and I think Fantastic Four 2099. It's one of all of those things. But the new futuristic Spider-Woman.
Is Carla Pacheco writing the other Fantastic Four 2099 again?
You should.
Did you read that one? Because wow,
yes.
that was a wow. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Carla Pacheco.
I love it. She pulls no punches, man. So great.
Did you also as well, again, because it's been so long between drinks, Seren, Carla Pacheco, Pere Pere, they got together again and they did the Edge of Spider-Verse.
I didn't read it yet.
Number 1. Oh, you haven't read it?
But I do have it. I didn't read it yet, but I do have it. Because obviously if those two are on a book together, I'm going to pick it up. Because
and dinosaurs.
I mean, obviously. Like they have such a great synergy. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it is a crazy story. That's all I can say, Seren. So you'll be enjoying that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Just a couple
I'll
other things.
check out the 2099 comic.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a fan of, admittedly, the 2099 series. I never really got into. But for just something new on Spider-Woman, I'm keen. And for Spider-Babies wanting to kind of learn more, so apparently Spider-Woman 2099 dressed all in black with a white spider emblem on her chest, and the article says it's very similar to Venom's design. So she could potentially be hosting a symbiote. We don't know in 2099.
Not necessarily. I mean, it could also be like a Julia Carpenter situation too, because the reason Venom looks like he does is because when Venom met Peter Parker, he had just met Julia Carpenter, and Venom was like, "Oh, I like that."
Yep.
And modeled himself after that.
It's absolutely true. And they also note again later in the article that Venom 2099 is his own thing. Like he's out and about as well. So that's probably where the symbiote is. But it's all that web wings as well. This Spider-Woman with long clawed fingers. And she's got, I didn't know, the spikes on her head. Oh, she does have, spikes on her head. Wow. So
the long clawed fingers could be more symbiote thing. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And another reason to believe 2099 has a symbiote is that she mentions being welcomed back to Earth. Ah, okay. So this is in the preview again. Sorry, slight spoilers, but I don't think that will really make. So she might have many adventures off in space, which again could link to symbiotes. But but
if she was a symbiote, then she probably wouldn't be falling under Spider. They wouldn't be calling her Spider-Woman, in my opinion.
That's true.
I think she would have like a more Venom symbiote name.
Like poison or antidote, antitoxin, all that sort of stuff. But that's exciting as well. I don't believe the article had said when it's coming out, so I can't tell you that. But we'll put it in the show notes. I'll find that out as well. So plenty of news. Oh, also as well. I mean, this is probably a good time, Seren, before we get into the game.
Oh, this has me excited.
Yeah, I saw you tweet on it saying I've got to get it. And look, I know nothing about it. I want it as well.
I have the Marvel Champions game. I have the expansion with the Spider-Woman deck. I have not had a chance to break it out and play it. This is for the Marvel Champions card game.
Right. Okay.
And so there are game sleeves for your card, and then there's a game mat for the game, so help you kind of organize your game. And the Spider-Woman game mat is badass. It's red, and it's got Jess's... what's really cool, what I really like about it is it's got the... Chris Anka design like in the background of the Spider-Woman emblem, but then the on top is Jess's mask. It's her her yellow triangle and her white eyes. It is really cool.
It looks really nice.
So there are now card sleeves for it. And the fact that they made a Jessica one, they made Jessica, they didn't make Carol. And that is what really kind of got me. So you've got all the Guardians, and you've got Venom, Hawkeye, and Jess. And this is what like Guardians makes sense because that's an MCU thing. Venom makes sense. Even Hawkeye makes sense. Jessica to me is a popular character, but for game accessories, like that surprised me. But then also, if you go onto like Reddit into the Marvel Champions forum, Jessica is a very popular character in that game because she wrecks a lot of shit. Because of a couple of her abilities, you can have her deck is more versatile than a lot of other heroes. There's apparently one deck you can do with an Agent Coulson card, and I forget what it does, but if you keep Agent Coulson up in the game, like she has an ability that keeps him up constantly. So you'll use your Agent Coulson card, activate a Jess roll, you can bring Agent Coulson out again, do it all over again, and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, and then the villain just is dead before you know it.
Oh wow!
It like there are a lot of crazy builds that you can achieve. I mean, with Jessica Drew, and I think that surprised a lot of people out of the gate. She's been out for about a year now, and now that other decks have come out since her, and you can like mix and match decks and things, and people are finding crazy, insane builds to do with her in particular, like. There are a lot of other great heroes, like Miss Marvel's great, Hulk's great, Doctor Strange is apparently also insanely good, and so is apparently Captain America. But, like, Jess, when you figure out how to use her, she's, like, becomes the go-to deck when you play the game.
Nice. I mean, that just adds to her appeal as well. And, Seren, this Champions card game, can that be played online or anything?
I'm sure I think there is an online version of it. This may not be an official online version of it, but yes.
I'd like to get like any Spider Babies keen. I mean, I'm always up for something like this and learning some new games. But yeah, if there are some fans there of the game, of course, have a look at this beautiful like card sleeve and card mat as well as Spider-Woman. I'll be picking it up. You've ordered it?
Oh, I didn't order that. No, I just retweeted it. But I will order it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Go on.
Just in case you were wondering, so Marvel Champions has the base game, and then the expansion that Jess's deck is in is Rise of the Red Skull.
Oh, okay. Good to know that she's not in the actual. Yeah. She's not in
the actual game, but she is in Rise of the Red Skull. Now, here's the thing. In the original Marvel Champions game, Jess has a non-PC card that synergizes with Carol. And then in this game, Jess has a Carol card that synergizes with her. But there's something in the play that you can't, like, if you're playing with Jess and someone is playing with Carol, you cannot use the Carol card and they cannot use the Jess card. I think. I could be wrong. People who play this game seriously... Yeah. Let me know. But all I have to say is that when Marvel Champions made this Jessica Drew deck, they did their research on the character. That's great. She is badass. Like they really did her justice in this game, and I cannot like everything I've read about her, they make her as badass as she should be, and it's really good. So you should get it. I think the base expansions, like for the original pack, is maybe like $50-$60 because you get a ton of cards and a ton of stuff with it. And then I think the Red Skull expansion is like maybe $20 or $30, probably $30. And then you can get decks for like $15. I think I've got the Black Widow deck. I've got decks and I haven't had a chance to play it. I mean to sit down and play it, but then I don't. But I will. I'm just really bad at like planning shit.
Oh yeah, look, me too as well. I've got some games as well, but I have really, to be honest, haven't opened them. I'd really love to. But similar with this, I've seen a few on some third party sellers as well. I'm talking about just in Australia. So I've seen I've always been toying with the idea of getting the Champions game, but yeah, this will probably set me off, and I'll go grab it now.
You should get it. Yeah, I want that. Honestly, the game mat I would probably wind up using as like a computer desk mat, truthfully, and like a mouse pad is probably what I'd wind up using it for.
And those little things that you said are sleeves, so you put the sleeves in a little.
Yeah, they're card sleeves, so to protect your cards.
Okay.
So you put them
I'm
in
assuming it's clear on the other side then? Is that the idea? Or
correct.
Okay, cool. Cool. That looks good.
Yeah, and actually I was looking at getting it, and then I also have the Marvel United game with the minifigures, because I went in on the expansion set for that. Yeah. And there's Jess in that game too, and she's pretty fun in that game as well. She's not like blowout awesome like she is in Marvel Champions, but they did do a good job with her there.
It just amazes me, like how well featured someone like Jess is in the games, yet in the comics it's hard to, I mean, she's in all action Avengers now, but she doesn't get like, if you look, as you're saying, like if you look at the Guardians and the Hawkeye and Venom, the amount of attention they get in the comics, so it's good. I think it's a great thing that Jess is kind of featured in there, but it's kind of like, come on, let's see more of it in the comics as well.
Right, but I also think too that if you're playing this Marvel Champions game and then you get you expect to see the MCU characters, Captain America, Spider-Man, Venom, Hawkeye, they're all MCU people, and everyone expects them, and then you come along and then you're like, Spider-Woman, who's this? And then you sit there going, oh, and they think, oh, Gwen Stacy or Anya, and then they go, oh shit, this is somebody else. And it's just and that actually I think helps people who don't even, because people who play this game don't follow the comics, but then they come into this and they play this game and they go, this character's baller, maybe I'll go and check her out in the comics or something like that. Well, that's what I'm hoping,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's great. I think it's just great that she's featured in it so much. But you're right. Yeah, it may be the gateway to many people. That was similar to with Moon Knight, apparently, in Ultimate Alliance 2. Many fans I've chatted to who are Moon Knight fans said, how do you get into it? Oh, I used to play him in Ultimate Alliance 2 and he just was really cool looking. So it's kind of like that. So similar
that happened with Jess, too, because she was in Ultimate Alliance and people really liked playing her. So
yeah. I mean, well, come on, Marvel. Let's jump on that then. Yes, before we get into the comics, Seren, there's one other little thing just on the games. We were chatting before, and I just wanted to open the question again, just so some Spider Babies who are out there who might be interested. I know one of our top-tier Spider patrons, Jess, is very much involved in it. Critical Role, I've seen it bandied around so much.
I'm so happy, Jess D. I'm so happy she watches it, because then I'll see her tweet about it, and it makes me happy. Also, Regularity, who... I don't believe he's one of our patrons, but he is a listener. So.
Oh, okay. It's fantastic. But I mean, Seren, for those who don't know about Critical Role, because I certainly didn't until you educated me just a few moments ago.
Because it owns my soul.
Yeah, that's right. You were deeply scarred, it sounded like, recently. But yeah, what is it about, and like how can you access it for any Spider Babies?
Okay. So, Critical Role, this is totally off the flow of what we were talking about, but Critical Role airs weekly every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is California time, which is 10 p.m. for me. And as an East Coaster, I torture myself by watching it live every week because I'm a horrible person to myself. And anyway, it's basically a bunch of voice actors who, if you've played any sort of video game or watched any sort of anime, you have heard every single one of them at some point in your life. And they literally play Dungeons and Dragons every week. They do not cut their gaming sessions. Each episode is anywhere from the 3-hour to sometimes even 5 or 6 hour mark. Usually,
so they don't usually. It's raw, right?
It's raw, yeah. They're on their 3rd campaign right now, which I have tried to watch off and on over the years. I have made it mostly through campaign 1. I have tried to get into campaign 2, and while the characters are great, I just haven't clicked with that campaign as well. Campaign 3 came out, and I jumped on right at the start, and I loved the characters. I mean, I wanted to get in because I love the actors. If you've ever heard of Laura Bailey, like, she's the reason why I wanted to watch. You probably heard Laura Bailey. She was Trunks in Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Oh no, I haven't. Yeah. So Seren threw these names out at me before we went on air, and Seren's like, you know her, you know. Like, oh, sorry, I don't.
No, it's okay. But the point is, it's every weekend. It's a bunch of nerdy voice actors playing D&D. It started as a home game. They started to stream it because a friend at Geek and Sundry asked them to, and much to everyone's surprise, it became incredibly popular incredibly quickly. They now have their own company for it, but they're still voice acting on the side because that's what they do. And it's just, I love watching it. It's just so much fun to me.
Wildly successful.
It is. And it's funny because it's all based on dice roll. It's a lot of, I mean, there are people that say it's like, oh, it's got to be scripted, but I'm sitting there going, how can you script 4 hours every week? It's Dungeons and Dragons, and I truly believe that, you know, there is production value in it because they do stream it and they have the money to make the set really pretty. Why wouldn't you? But it's still, when it comes down to it, and their dungeon master or game master, Matt Mercer, reiterated it this weekend after a very heavy second half of the episode, that, you know, in the end, like, it's still, you know, he's still putting this game on for his friends, and they come down and they're playing freaking D&D. They're not thinking, really, when they start playing the game, they start playing the game, and that's all there is to it. And I just love it. It's a lot of improv. It's a lot of dice rolling. And because it's voice actors that are playing, you know, this game, they are very in character, and it's just wonderful, and I love it.
It sounds very authentic, and they basically have the skill as well in the acting department to really kind of. Oh my
God, they're all so good. They're all so good, and it's you'll laugh, you'll cry. It owns my soul right now, and it's the detriment of my comics love. Like, I didn't think I would love anything more than Jessica Drew, but man. Critical Role's not far behind her, or is currently tied with her, but you know, it's But my brain this week has been focused on the end.
On
Go
critical.
ahead.
Did you call it Critical Soul at one stage?
No, Critical Role.
Okay, no, I thought you were just doing that because of your soul.
No, it owns my soul. But it's funny because it's called Critical Role.
Yeah.
But it's ROLE, like role playing, because it's a role playing game rather than a critical roll of a dice.
Yes, right.
So it's a very clever name.
It's pretty cool, and you know, as mentioned, just wanted to get it out there because I know some spider babies are into it. So I'll check it out. I mean, I don't know what time that means. What is it? 10 p.m. for you? I don't think I'll be able to watch it live, right? But they still have it.
But the VOD is on YouTube. On Mondays at 3 p.m. my time.
Okay.
So 3 p.m. tomorrow my time is like 3 a.m. for you, so you can watch it like the next day or whatever.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, if you want to watch it live, it's Thursday night, 7 p.m. California time on both Twitch and YouTube, depending which you prefer. The YouTube stream's usually a minute behind the Twitch stream for whatever reason, but but still sounds good. Sounds very good. So you know, might keep an eye out on that just for the heck of it. Why not? Because it seems to be very much something that you love, Seren. So I do.
Yeah, it'd be good to see your emotional roller coaster. You know, every time we do reconvene, see how you feel. How you're feeling?
This last week's episode, it hurt a lot, guys. I'm talking about the episode from, what was it, the 8th? The 8th, Thursday the 8th. That episode hurt a lot. That one had me. That one, I'm really excited to see what happens because it ended on a cliffhanger. But it was rough. It was rough. Yeah. It was really good. I loved it. Yeah.
And look, by no means am I. Look, I'm laughing along, but it's only because we had a laugh beforehand, Seren, as well. I'm not laughing at your misfortune. I mean, we know.
Oh no, I'm stoked. I was sad, but I'm stoked. Like, I'm really stoked to see what happens because there's like so many millions of ways it could go. Because it's all on the dice rolls, man. It's all on the freaking dice rolls because and the table was on fire. Like, there were so many nat 20s going on. It was insane. It was so great. It was so great.
Cool. I've got to say, is it like those multi-sided dice? Is it like more than 6? Is it like the 12?
Yeah. So
okay,
in D&D, you've got sets of dice. They're usually like 7. So you've got you've got a D4, which is like a caltrop. You've got your D6, which most people in gaming are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
There's an 8-sided dice. There's a couple of 10-sided dice, and one is like a percentage, and then there's your 12-sided dice, and you've got a 20-sided dice that you can roll.
Isn't that just a ball?
Yeah.
It's pretty spherical.
Yeah. I love rolling the 20. I have one. Yeah. I have a metal one. Here's the thing. Even before I knew what Critical Role was, or I even understood what role-playing games were, I have a dice collection because I collect them because they're pretty.
Oh, nice.
And I have way too many dice. And I got this one pretty metal D20 that is very Hydra green. And it's metal and it's a weapon. I could chuck it at someone's head and probably kill them, which I wouldn't do. But I will sit and fidget with it and I will roll it, and it's very nice to roll. Yeah.
Nice. Oh,
anyway.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. I've got to play more of the games I've got. I'm sure there are some dice in there too. I want to get into it. For a long time, Seren, I've been looking at trying to do the tabletop games online and stuff with others, because obviously it's a lot more fun to play with other people who are like-minded. Unfortunately, my neck of the woods, there aren't that many people.
I'm sure you could find one. We'll find you one.
Anyway, shall we get on to the discussion at hand, Seren?
Yes.
The revisit.
As it were.
Sorry?
I said, as it were.
As
a
it
revisit.
were. Exactly, a revisit. So we've got the 2 issues. Yes. Have you got the credits there, Seren?
Yeah, let me read those off. So this is Marvel 2. Oh my God, where am I at? Marvel 2-in-1, volume number 1, issues number 29 and number 30. 29 is called 2 Against Hydra, and number 30 is called Battle Atop Big Ben, which I still find really funny considering that this centers along the thing. Yes. Written by Marv Wolfman, pencilers Ron Wilson for number 29 and John Buscema for number 30. Inkers are Sam Grainger for number 29 and Pablo Marcus for number 30. Colorist is Janice Cohen. Letterers are John Costanza for number 29 and Irving Watanabe for number 30. Editor is Marv Wolfman. He edited his own comic.
Yes. I was about to say, Seren, it's lucky that they did say Battle Atop Big Ben, because I don't think Battle Atop the Thing would be a little bit a bit worrisome.
I could make a joke about Alicia, but I'm not.
Anyway, Spider Babies available in floppy format, which is easily gettable. I mean, I don't think these have jumped in price. I don't think, but maybe they will very soon. Also, Marvel Unlimited, of course, but you can also get them.
Our best friend.
Yes, it's so cool. But also, on Kindle or the Marvel app, you can buy a digital copy, and way out of print, but throw it out there. Seren, the Essential Collection, Volume 1, it's the black and white newspaper kind of collection that we always talk about. It's there too, but you don't have to. Oh, and also, Seren,
Marvel Masterworks.
Marvel Masterworks.
Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1.
And Marvel Masterworks, I'm going to put a plug in here. Marvel Masterworks Volume 3 is going to be available this December. You could pre-order it with your local comic shop or on Amazon or wherever you prefer to get your comic books from. It will be a hardcover. I can't believe it. We got again, and I'm going to say it again. The time between Volume 1 and Volume 2 was literally like over a decade. The time between 2 and 3 has literally only been about a couple of years. So I am thrilled, guys. Keep your demand up for Jess so we can keep getting stuff like this for her.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So all good things, get your pre-orders in. Now, for those who haven't heard us before or unfamiliar, basically Seren and I will go through a synopsis.
Yes.
Then We'll do it bundled together because I think what we mentioned in our legendary Lost episode, Seren, 29 Jess is featured only kind of really incidentally, but we wanted to include it or at least acknowledge it. So we're treating 29 and 30 kind of as one big thing.
Right.
And yeah, so we'll read out a synopsis that covers both issues. Then we're just going to go through some notes, what we find interesting about the issue, go through any writing or art notes. Not much by way of the tinfoil hat theory, Saren, because these are very old issues. Yeah. And we do have just a couple of little, we'll score it, and then we do have a couple of little bits of feedback. So thank you very much, Spider Babies.
Yeah.
So, Saren, I can't remember. Did you want to take the first 29 or 30? We can split up this synopsis.
I'll take the first one.
You want to take the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, courtesy of the Wiki, our second best friend after Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Arriving in England to deliver the Deathlok cyborg to Dr. Kort, the Thing and Alicia spend a bit of time sightseeing before going to their appointed destination. Arriving there, they find that the entire mansion has been overturned, unaware that Dr. Kort has been kidnapped by Hydra, who intends to have the Doctor revive their agent, Spider-Woman. When Alicia finds blood at the scene of the kidnapping, she screams, bringing Shang-Chi, who mistakes the Thing as an attacker. After a brief battle, they realize the reality of the situation, and Shang-Chi agrees to help the Thing find Dr. Kort. Tracking him down to a hidden Hydra base, Thing and Shang-Chi. I'm so sorry, I'm mispronouncing it. I'm so bad. Fight off the Hydra hordes and save Dr. Kort. However, in spite of their victory, Hydra has obtained the serum they need to revive Spider-Woman.
And Ben and Alicia are still in London enjoying the sights when Ben hears an explosion. Investigating, he finds two crooks who are blasting open the secret locations of map plates, which would lead to a long-lost treasure. As the Thing tries to round them up, he is attacked by the newly revived Spider-Woman, who is once more loyal to Hydra. She has come to terminate Ben. However, at the last moment, she chokes and is later forced to flee. Returning to Hydra headquarters, she angers her superiors but promises to kill Ben Grimm next time. Later, while sightseeing, Ben and Alicia are once more attacked by Spider-Woman, who kidnaps Alicia and flies off. Ben chases after her but runs amok of the same crooks trying to uncover yet another piece of their treasure map. Ben fights through them and picks up his trail on Spider-Woman, which takes him to Big Ben, where the two battle it out. Although Ben has superior strength, he's no match for Spider-Woman's speed and venom blasts. However, before a victor can be made, the two crooks, also at Big Ben to find another part of the map, capitalise on the battle to try and eliminate Ben, and so they detonate a bomb which knocks both the Thing and the Spider-Woman into the Thames River. So yeah, that pretty much covers... thank you, Wiki. I think that was a pretty good synopsis of 29 and 30. Yeah. Before we get into it, overall, Saren, what did you make of, I guess, from a Spider-Woman point of view, these issues?
Well, the first one, she really doesn't appear till the end, so I really don't have much to say on that other than I did still like it. The second one is a lot better, but I'm trying to remember some things because I meant to reread this issue before we recorded and I didn't. But yeah, I really think I remember what I wanted to say. I think actually this episode was a good showcase of what Jess can do, especially when you pit her up against someone like the Ben who is pretty strong and stuff. So even though Jess, she has all these powers, she can quickly pinpoint Ben's weaknesses and get the better of him. So yes, yeah. I really did like it. The whole B plot with these guys. I mean, I'm sure I can't remember the end of the series, like the end of this like mini arc. I can't remember if they had any. I don't know. I was just like, really?
Yeah, I think it's just who was it again? Is it Mark Wolfman? I think it's Mark Wolfman. I mean, I think it must be just secondary plot insert here, that sort of thing, just to kind of get things ticking over, add a bit more of the cast. Look, one of the things I think for 29, like overall impressions, the first thing that kind of really wowed me was the ending kind of at 29, and we do see Jess kind of in the hands of Hydra again. And for those of you that do remember our previous discussion or the first appearance of Jess, she kind of broke away from them and she was like wandering away. So this is almost like a reset, I thought. But for that aside, and whether you like it or not, I really enjoyed this. It's very typical of Marvel 2-in-1. The Thing, of course, is there. He's a very popular character, and to have guest stars like Shang-Chi and Jess was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and exactly as you say, Seren, it kind of highlighted a bit more. They're starting to think through the character of Jess, and maybe reinvent things again. But it was good to see. Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, and actually this makes me think of something that was said in the Masterworks. It's making me recall something that I think, and I could be misremembering. Spider Babies, correct me if I'm wrong. I think part of the reason Marv brought Jess into this one was because he knew he was going to be on the Spider-Woman solo comic, and he wanted to kind of put her name out there again, because she had a really good reaction to the Marvel Spotlight 32. So he brings her in here with Ben Grimm, who's a popular character that people are going to want to read, and he brings her here so that way when the comic launches, they go, oh, I remember her from that. I'm going to check it out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that actually also as well, from Wolfman's point of view, it gives him the control kind of, of the character to set it up for himself when he does start the series. So that makes total sense. Wow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And he does have a blank slate character, because really from a one shot, there's so much you can go on because it's just a one shot.
Yeah, true. But it's interesting that he does kind of in this almost go back, like he goes back to Jess being in Hydra. I don't know. It's interesting. He could have, because he did. Correct me if I'm wrong. He did write the Spotlight, didn't he? As well, 32.
I don't think he did. No.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, okay. Because I was wondering if he did, then why he'd actually choose to rehash it.
No, I don't think he did. Hold on now. I'm double checking.
Yeah, please check. Because I thought he did, but you're right. Maybe he didn't at all. But yeah, in any case, maybe if he didn't write 32, which Seren is very close to verifying, he probably wanted to start, let's kind of take a few steps back. Let me start. It
was written by Archie Goodwin. He's one of the creators.
Archie Goodwin, of course. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Marv did his take on the origin anyway, having her kind of resetting her with Hydra again.
But he didn't, I feel, even given what we know. I'm going through the comic. Hold on, because now I can't remember shit. I'm in the wrong app. I want to say that I went to my regular Marvel Comics app, which is no bueno.
Yes, I do that too sometimes. Yeah.
I want to say that there was a scene with the Hydra dudes because they wanted to revive her. So we know that she fell into Hydra's hands again. So we know that. So we need to know. So he's really not quite resetting in a way. He's kind of picking up. He's still honoring the one shot that came before. Because truly, when you think about it, Hydra's not going to let an asset like that go. They're going to try and get her back.
True. And I guess at the end of 32, she's wandering. So you could easily kind of fill in the blanks and maybe they do say in this issue 30, that she's hypnotized or something.
Right.
Superiors say. So they must have just reclaimed her. She was a bit discombobulated at the end of 32 and perhaps it was open-ended in 32.
Right.
Like we assumed that she kind of cut away from Hydra and then she did her own thing. But all reason to say that she could be kind of brought back into the fold, which we see here. Right. And it's now, part of canon. So, So, I mean, I don't mind going back to Hydra. I mean, again, looking at this retrospectively and having just read Marvel Spotlight 32, I'm not sure what the feeling would have been at the time of people who would have been interested in Spider-Woman. Maybe because she was so new, they really just didn't care, Marv Wolfman just didn't, yeah.
I think looking back at the time she came out, you didn't really have that many. I mean, you had Sue Storm, and Carol just came on the scene, but Carol's powers were derived or very similar to the current Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And really at that time, there weren't that many female superheroes that had origins that had nothing to do with their male counterpart.
Yeah.
So when you have a Spider-Woman, and the directive to make Spider-Woman was, I want her as far removed from Peter Parker as possible. That was Stan Lee's directive about her creation. To have a female superhero that had nothing to do with Spider-Man, she has the name that will get people to pick her up her comic, but to have her origin be so different and even so dark, her origin is so dark.
Vastly different, yeah.
Right. Like that, I think, is especially unusual for the times.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you look at the big three women at that time that had solo comics were Carol and Jess and Jen. If you look at how long each of their runs were, Jess lasted longest with 50 issues, which I think says something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very long run. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, even the She-Hulk. I think it may have eclipsed the She-Hulks as well, right? John Byrne's run. Did. Yeah, John Byrne's run was pretty long, but I'm not sure if I'm just doing a little bit investigating. Googling. This is a new addition to our show, listeners. We're just to try to find out stuff. So yeah, I mean the John Byrne run was pretty big. Yeah, it lasted up to 50 issues as well, so on par. Okay. But that came a lot later,
Mm-hmm.
So Jess was first with that. But yeah.
So I just think that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
I going back to the comic at hand, I like it. I just the B plot with these robber dudes, which actually if I recall correctly, does get a little more intense later, but at the same time, just like I could do without it, but I kind of understand why it's there to kind of filler things. Yeah,
but they're just not interesting. I mean,
no.
If maybe, and depending on editorial and stuff, but maybe if they included a B level character for the subplot, that would make things. But the fact that they're just two average robbers,
right?
Yeah. Not really, no point of interest for that. But, I mean, yeah, it is part of, I think, the format of 2-in-1 to kind of get things bubbling, get things happening.
Right. And, I forgot. This is the issue, because that's what I was looking for. I didn't want to spoil the next issue, but this is the issue that Thing talks to Fury about Jess.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Fury's like, you can't hurt her. You got to help her.
Mm.
And again, tying into, still honoring what came before for that one shot. Because they could have nixed that whole one shot if they had wanted to, but they didn't. He's still building on what came before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. And that's good. It was great to see Nick Fury kind of, albeit the Thing going, okay, whatever. Like, Nick Fury just saying, no, you've got to, don't hurt her. She's good. She's an asset, really. So, so that was a nice, I think, as far as references to other runs, that was a direct reference to 32, which is really cool. The difference here, I guess the main plot here, after, the confrontation with Shang-Chi, which is, again, just, that was his moment in 29. Mm-hmm. Basically, Jess came in right at the end. We find out that Hydra want to create more soldiers like Jessica.
Right.
And have them under their spell, i.e. hypnotize them too. Right. So she does prove to be quite an important part in Hydra's plans.
Right.
And so that makes it quite interesting as well because, again, like how she tears away from that later on, or what happens with these super soldier serums. I'm just going to call them that. Yeah.
Alicia being kidnapped by Hydra for this.
Exactly.
And
setting up for some grisly stuff, but
yes, but also this little arc with Alicia and what happens to her ties into an event way, way, way in the future.
That's right. You told me about this. Yeah.
I did. I'm not going to tell you what comic it is. I know our spider babies know what I am alluding to.
Yes.
But this actually becomes a little bit pivotal to a future Spider-Man comic story.
Yeah, so a future writer has picked this up. So this is one of the deep dives, right? Deep cuts or whatever you call it. Which is great. I love it when writers do this. They really pick the source material. They see how it can tie in. So yeah, I'm keen. I'm still blanking. I'm just thinking either Spider-Verse somewhere or something. I don't know.
As you read it, I'm not going to tell you. I want to see if you figure it out as we go through this arc.
Well, that's right, yeah, because we've got... So this is... there's, another 3 parts to this or something?
Yes, because I think that's the last time you didn't realize that it was actually 5 whole issues that Jess is in. She is in. She has a major part in this whole arc. Even though other heroes are, highlighted, Jess is still featured pretty heavily in it.
Yeah, I have read this back with the Essential Collection, but it's been such a long time. So, again, I'm a goldfish. You can...
Yeah.
I'm
a goldfish too. I meant to reread the whole, and I feel bad to read the whole issue, but I'm blaming this recent episode of Critical Role and my brain only being able to focus on that.
Yes. But that's exciting. So Spider Babies, I'm sure, if you don't know, then what better chance to go and flick through your old issues of Spider-Woman to figure it out. But that's exciting because we know there's a big thing happening.
And also, you know what? Let's build on that. Let us know.
Oh, yes.
What issue you think I'm talking about? Because I know Rustin is going to get it. I know Rustin will get it. I have faith in you, Rustin. I think Just D will get it. I have faith in Just D. Yeah. I have faith in you. They'll know.
Why don't we throw it out there? I'll get a heap of To Know Her Is to Fear Her stickers ready, and the first 3 people to write in and let us know, we'll send stickers your way. How's that?
Ooh, yeah, that's exciting.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we know it's Rustin and Jess at least. We'll definitely.
I have faith in you guys. Don't let me down. I know the pressure is on.
But yes, let us know. And Jess, I know you've got a sticker already, but hey, you can have another one.
Right.
Yes. Let us know. And first 3 Spider Babies that get it right. We'll chuck some To Know Her Is to Fear Her your way. So cool. So also, just going back to the comic as well, Jess is, she's in a slightly confused state, which I guess I kind of like it. Again, that really adheres to the one shot before 32, because she was a little bit discombobulated by the end of it.
Yeah.
So she's still a bit, she's under the spell, obviously hypnotized, but she's not 100% in that regards. And of course, her attacking, which is great. I love to see her attacking other heroes. It's always fun to get throwdowns.
Oh, that was fun. That's a fun throwdown.
Yeah, really good. It really highlighted her power set. So we know Ben Grimm says a couple of times, gee, she's quick, So her speed, even in the air, is quite quick. And her venom blasts, most significantly, showed that they have intensities. Now, this is picked up in Volume 1 as well. You see it in a few examples of Jess shooting people with the venom blasts, but she may be too far away or she may not be fully charged. So we get this established in this issue where there are different shot intensities. One that is enough to kill a rhino, that she shoots at Ben. Other ones which she kind of deflects kind of more easily. That was quite interesting too.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was really cool, and that does highlight well throughout her whole series, especially during the one arc, I believe, with Necra.
That was a good one. I like.
Yeah.
That.
So, yes, that like they are very well establishing that Jess isn't a joke. In this,
Yep.
like her power, and that she had like, and again throughout, especially here with the discussion with Shuri, is she has no. They are also reiterating she has nothing to do with Parker. She's her own thing, and that's why she's in London right now rather than in New York. So she is like, they're like, she is her own thing. She has nothing to do with him. Her origins have nothing to do with him. There's just nothing. She has nothing to do with this guy. So, which makes people go, well, she has nothing to do with him. That's interesting, and they want to check her out. There's something else I wanted to say about this arc too, and I can't recall what it is anymore.
Oh, well, I'm going to speculate whilst you push the recall button, Sarah, in the backlogs. I'm going to speculate as well that to get further away from Spider-Man, maybe that's why they did away with her cowl, her like mask, and just gave her the flowing hair, which again for me is a far superior design. To her original costume, which is still fun. I mean, most of it's there, but I feel that's just me speculating.
Honestly,
away, yeah.
I think it was a really truly. I don't think that was it. I really truly think they did it for aesthetic reasons.
Okay, because aesthetic reasons, absolutely, it's 100% the right decision. But yeah, fair enough. Also, speaking of the design, I wanted to shout out Rustin as well. Rustin did mention that the costume, the inconsistencies are reversed in this as opposed to Marvel Spotlight 32.
Oh, good catch, Rustin.
Yeah, so in Marvel Spotlight 32, I haven't got it in front of me, so I can't really recall. So there's inconsistencies with the triangle on their head. So Jess has the yellow triangle on her head in one of the covers, and within it's not there, I think. And then the opposite way around. There's a black triangle, I think.
Yes.
That Russell mentions that's on the cover, but it's correct on the inside, on the internal cover.
Right.
On the internal comic. So yeah. So again, a disconnect between when the covers were drawn and when the final product was drawn. But it's funny how that's kind of flipped on that in that scenario. Let me just see. Any other thoughts there, Seren, on this issue?
I don't think so. I mean, I really did enjoy it. The B plot doesn't really grip me, but other than the fact that they're there to screw up Ben Grimm's day and his vacation, apparently, on top of what Jess is already doing. I like how it ends, actually, on that cliffhanger with, them getting launched out of the plane, but how that seems to kind of jostle Jess. It really starts to get good. Not that this is bad. It is good, but I really think the next issue is, like, really good.
Oh, yeah. And I can't wait to revisit that. We will cover, I think we mentioned as well last time, Seren, for our next classic, I guess, issue coverage, we'll do the 31 to 33 together. Yeah. Because, I mean, we can talk about that holistically. I think that will be pretty cool. Just to verify, because I've got it up on my phone here. So, yeah, on the Marvel 2-in-1 in issue 30, it just has the black triangle. She's even got it in the little icon corner of the comic book cover where the little heads are under the price. She's got the full black triangle or the top of the mask, whereas inside she's got the more consistent and, the more permanent yellow triangle. Whereas in Marvel Spotlight, on the front cover, she did have the yellow triangle, but inside it was black. So they were finding it out. Look, I think, just a little aside, Seren, I think if the black was like it is on that little headshot, I think that actually looks pretty cool.
I'm hardcore for my yellow.
Oh yeah,
my yellow triangle. I'm sorry, not
yellow
sorry.
triangle and flowing red and flowing black hair. I think that's those are the staples. But overall, I mean, just other little notes. I thought it was pretty funny that Ben always so kind of caught up on how he's perceived as a monster, how people perceive him. Yet he constantly refers to Deathlok as like things as corpse face, and you know,
Right.
so it's
You
like
would think he'd have a little sympathy or empathy for Deathlok, but
calling the kettle black. And we forgot to mention Deathlok is what was kind of he was featured more, I think, in 29. Before 29, sorry. So that's why he's kind of featured a bit more. But he kind of fades out, and by the time we get into 30, it's very much the own story of the Thing and Spider-Woman and Hydra, and Alicia, of course.
Yeah.
What am I about to say? Spider score, Seren.
Oh.
If there are no other notes, what would you give this out of? Last time, well, people don't know because it got lost.
Yeah.
Out of
the void.
Yes, out of the black hole. Out of 5 blimey governors, because it's set in London. What would you give this blimey governor?
I would give this. What did I give this? Let me look, because I'm still stand by my spider score. Oh, I gave it 3 out of 5 blimey governors. My bad accent.
You got a good accent. I would give it 3 out of 5 as well. I think it was very much an enjoyable enough read. It did respect, the one issue that preceded it with Jess, and great art.
It was a good setup. 29 was a good setup.
29 was a good setup. Yeah, that was fun with Chang-Chi anyway. I mean, the whole thing with that, again, of course, fight, misunderstanding. But the whole Dr. Kort, he's got this idea, he's got the know-how as to how to perfect this super serum, and Hydra obviously trying to get him as well. But yeah, it all kind of culminates, we'll see, especially with Alicia in the mix.
It's good.
In the issues to come.
It's also especially exciting, again, to remind you all, as we mentioned it 10 minutes ago, what happens here has ramifications about 30 years later. So again,
that's it. Get your answers in, Spider Babies, quick sticks and stickers. I've got visions of what is it like? You know how you can
the
skin money. Yeah.
Except we're doing stickers.
Come on. You're doing stickers though.
Right.
But we do have a couple of little bits of feedback here, Seren, from Instagram. I'm not sure if you want to take the first one or second one.
What exactly happened between Spotlight 32 and 2-in-1-29 to just get recaptured? Page 15 of 30 seems to suggest so. Yep. Yes, that is exactly what happened. How so? I don't recall if it touches on, but it might touch on later in the series. I still have to reread 31 through 34, 33. Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember as well, but worst case scenario, headcanon, I guess the readers can come up with some sort of tale. It would be cool to see, and I do hope they do recount it, just to see exactly what happened to kind of fit that puzzle piece in. But thank you, Tonic PHX.
Tonic Fix?
Tonic Fix. Thank you.
That's what I'm going to say.
And a little comment here from Funkin' Beans. And they say definitely worth the wait. Thank you. That was in reference to, I think, having to re-record.
Okay.
With this early run on Jess, I like how instinctively she wants to do the right thing, but results in being a bit messy. Carla cackle.
That's the truth of it, man. Carla gets how messy Jess is, and Jess is a mess, and I love her. But she's
that's
a mess.
Beauty.
Yeah.
That's a beauty of that series. I think it was great. She really did it well. No, thank you so much, Tonic Fix and Funkin' Beans, for your comments.
Great name, by the way, Funkin' Beans. I love it. It makes me giggle. Great name. Okay. I don't know what it refers to, but I'm giggling.
Yes, be sure. We've got a Facebook page and Twitter. You can get comments in. We'll throw up discussion threads preceding the episodes that Sarah and I will chat issues about. So please get them in. We've got an email as well. So plenty of ways to contact us. I think that pretty much wraps us, Seren, for this episode.
What about our sponsors? Did you thank them, or did I miss it?
No, not at all. I haven't thanked them, and I definitely should. Our gracious Spider patrons, you've heard us refer to them earlier in the show. So a big thank you to Teresa, Miriam, Variable Mog, Eric, and Jess. I'm missing Rustin as well.
Rustin.
A big shout
Love
out
you
to
guys.
Rustin.
Thank
Love
you for
Thank
making
you.
this possible every month.
Yes, thank you so much, and look forward to giving you more content. Stay with us as well. Again, Seren and I, we do have some scheduling gymnastics to kind of try to, make our way around.
Yeah.
But we do have episode 30 coming up next episode, and it will be a continuation of our modern run review, and it will be Spider-Woman Origin number 2 by Bendis Reed and the Luna Brothers.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I do love
excited.
Origin. It's really good. I
It's
mean,
a
I
good
have my
one.
issues with it, but I really do enjoy it. So I'm really looking forward to issue number 2.
Oh, yeah.
So.
This run is magical, and yeah, as much as I like to make fun of Brian Michael Bendis every now and again, I can't fault his Spider-Woman.
When he's on, he's really on. And he was, well, I truly don't know, because Reed is credited here as a writer, so I don't really know who did most of the writing. Was it Reed or Bendis?
True. We should be maybe
they all
applauding
interviewed
Reed.
Bendis about it. I feel like Bendis got more credit for it, but Reed was also on it.
Stuck in the back room, just typing away while Bendis is in the spotlight. Look, again, here's my discrimination coming in. Sorry, Mr. Bendis. He's a fantastic writer. Don't get me wrong. Seren, that pretty much wraps it. Thanks so much again. I can't wait for us to reconvene, chat again. I will press the save button this time.
Yes.
So fear not. We're not going to do this a third time.
I mean, we will if we have to.
We have to,
however.
of course.
But
yes. But yeah, continue enjoying Critical Role. I'm going to check it out too, and Spider
you
Babies.
should
Check it out so we can all get a discussion going. Yes, I'd love to follow it. But as we always say, Seren,
to know her.
to know her is to fear.
Hear her? We want to do that again?
Oh, yeah, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 3. To know.
Okay.
We'll get it one day.
Who usually says it? Is it me?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually.
Oh, okay. Count me down.
Okay, here we go. See you later, everybody.
To know her is to fear her.
Good night.
Oh, wow. Little rusty, we're all right. If you'd like to contact us with your thoughts on Spider-Woman and her amazing series, you can drop us a line at spiderwomanpod@gmail.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Spider-Woman Pod or To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast. Catch us on Twitter at Spider-Woman Daily or on Discord, Tumblr, and Podchaser. Look for all our links to our social platforms in the show notes.
We are also proud members of The Collective, a supergroup of podcasters dedicated to covering all the characters and news in comics and beyond. Search for #TheCollectiveNet on Twitter to see the latest on all the shows, or click on the link provided in our episodes to give you a list of who's part of The Collective. Finally, please consider giving us a rating on either Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Whether it be to sing your praises or give us pointers on how to improve the show, any ratings will help cast our web further and potentially reach out to more spider babies out there.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for our next upcoming episode, but until then, remember, to know her is to fear her.
Spider-Woman and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Material used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only, under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.
Hi, I'm Pax.
And I'm Abigail.
Welcome to Ghost Spider Groupies, a podcast dedicated to Gwen Stacy of Earth 65, also known as Spider-Gwen and Ghost Spider, where we review her comics, discuss news, and give our opinions about all things Gwen 65.
Right now, we are reading through Gwen's main solo series. Each week, we break down a new arc and discuss our and the listener's thoughts. Tune into each episode and come on this journey through the character's history with us, available wherever you listen to your podcasts.